Hi everyone. I decided this time to do the message of the week in a video form. We just got this plan for that purpose. I want to tell you something very important. Many people who have disability that consider to be unresolved by the medical profession come here. Today, I'll meet a kid with corneal problem that could lead to corneal replacement. And I will never forget the man who called the radio show I was in, radio show of KPFA in Berkeley, who met me 30 years ago and said, well, my optometrist and my ophthalmologist told me I must replace my cornea. And he said, I worked with Meir, and both of them told me I don't have to do it anymore a year later. He said, everything is good about him except his jokes. Well, I can't deny that. My jokes are not that good, but I keep liking them. So I tell them, but the truth of the matter is, your cornea doesn't work well, and immediately the idea is corneal replacement. And they used to think the surgery worked like magic until there were a bunch of rejections to the cornea. And everybody wants to have a little button to press on and to say, that fixes this and that fixes that. So here's the truth. Just after working on two men with different problems, whose ankle was not moving, one was a club foot from infancy and babyhood, and one was a foot that had a problem that all kinds of vascular specialists are checking him. I moved them beyond anyone's belief. In fact, they were told that they can never move the feet that way, and all I had to do is put them in our hot tub with hot water and put some cold water on the foot and start to mobilize it. And I will never forget how I was able to work with kids with spinal bifida, where there was no closure to the spine. And here is one surgery, one of those exceptional surgeries that I would always suggest for people to do. I really think that that surgery where the sac is filled with cerebral spinal fluid and puts pressure on the kidneys and puts pressure on internal organs has to be cut and removed, and the vertebrae is fused together. That's why I praise conventional medicine. There's no two ways about that. But then there's another part to the whole thing. And this is, then he was offered many other surgeries. And that's when I say no. And I was able to take quite a few infants and babies and change their foot from being club foot into being normal, because they're much more pliable. But even adults, a 29-year-old and a 40-year-old, just recently in the last couple of weeks in my practice, a foot that wouldn't move, a foot that wouldn't bend or straighten, I was able to do that for them. Not in as great accomplishments as I do with infants, but great accomplishments nevertheless, which allow them to have much more mobility. And throughout 45 years of working, from being 17 years old, working on the beach with people, when I felt that my life opened up again, and this is, I was basically reading Braille until then, and now with eye exercise I was able from very near to see some large letters. It was a fantastic experience. To all kinds of people coming to me to the beach and asking me to help them. I'll never forget the lady who said to me, Meir, I can't breathe when I go to sleep. Well, I told her then, open the window and count 10 deep breaths, then go to sleep. So she came next day and gave me money, which I didn't know you get for that. She said, I now can fall asleep. So then I gave her some more exercise. She had a problem with her foot, a problem with her hand, and I kept helping her. And one time, as I was working with one of my polio patients, as I've written about them in my book, Movement for Self-Healing, this nice older lady came and said, I want you to know that Meir saved my life. I said, well, how did I save your life? She said, She was taking a bus to the mountains. In the middle, she asked the bus to stop because she had to throw up. She had a hard time with the bus driving all over the mountains. She then went and threw up, and then she thought she'll die, and then she remembered, Meir told me to breathe 10 slow, deep breaths, and I revived myself again. Well, she claimed I saved her life, but I think finally she got the idea that she can help herself. And the big thing is that if we learn to balance the body, to use muscles we never used before, we can even improve from the terrible disease like muscular dystrophy. If we learn the 9 principles that I'm teaching in my book, Vision for Life, relaxation of the eyes, adjustment to different light frequencies, looking at details, peripheral vision, balance use of the 2 eyes, balance use within each eye, which most people don't even know they don't have, body and eye coordination, distance viewing, and more blood flow to the head, the change will be tremendous. For example, all of you, why don't you just massage yourself and create more space between your skull and your scalp? I want everybody to know that we are doing so many things to bring this work to the world. I am traveling, and I even leave some of my most beloved patients here in San Francisco without being able to help them. I try to refer them to other people, but they only want to work with me, and there's not much I can do about it. I tried 10 times and they don't go anywhere, but just work with me, so be it. But you'll see one at the end of this broadcast or podcast. But one thing that I want you to know, we want to spread the message of self-healing. The world needs it. Things can change, completely change. We have 600 muscles and most of us use only 50 out of them. We have no idea that in most gyms we destroy our joints. And that's what happens. Take the strongest, buff people that lift weights. Well, they're strong. You can't touch them for 10 years, 20 years. Meet them in their 50s and 60s and 70s. You can't hug them or even do a handshake with them. They become so weak and injured and miserable. Those people who could be bar bouncers, could be boxers, and now they're gone. I will never forget my friend Will and my good student Will, who's a trainer in my work now, that is a boxer, is very fit, very strong. What could envy his beauty and his strength and his capacity. When he saw me lifting one of my muscular dystrophy patients to the sunny veranda that we have with a great confidence, and he sees me in my 60s doing it, he said, in your age, I want to be just like you. So here's the question. How can you be in my age just like me? Just today, I ran for 6 miles bare feet on the beach with a bathing suit and a t-shirt. Today I had a t-shirt. There was a lot of wind. Normally I don't. Well, how do you do it? Be aware of the fact that balance in your body is important. That using muscles you never used and not the muscles you always use is important. That getting circulation everywhere is important. That breathing in great ease is important. Let's repeat this. We massage the scalp. And I will take a yoga mat and show you what we're doing. So, after massaging the head, and again, separating the skull from the scalp, we take our shoes off, and we stand on all fours here, and I move the lower back up and down, middle back up and down, upper back up and down, and I move my head from side to side, and in rotation. Make sure that you don't have retinal detachment when you do that, yeah? If you do, I advise you to not do that because it could create more detachment. But if you don't have retinal detachment, that's fantastic. You just do this. You do this. And again, you move the lower back up and down, middle back up and down, up and back, up and down, and massage yourself. You can stop the program for a few minutes and just do it and return to my talk. It's going to be pretty short from now on. I just want to say to everyone that we are going to give prizes. I think the biggest prize is this one, and this is the kit for natural vision improvement. It's a great kit. It has a DVD that shows you how to improve your vision in front of the computer and to prevent eye strain, and a DVD that talks about vision improvement in general. We're also going to give away Vision for Life and the Vision for Life DVD. We also are going to give away Yoga for Your Eyes. That's a very popular one. I remember wanting to prevent the LASIK surgery, which I think is really a terrible surgery that can lead to many, many problems. But I didn't succeed. The best, it sold 1,000 a month. They do something like 3,000 surgeries a day with LASIK. Well, we'll give away more things, but the most important thing for you to know is how possible it is to improve one's vision. And we only give away those products if you write like about our thing and you share. It's important that we see that you shared our program. We want to spread it worldwide. And the reason is we want more research in our work, we want more people to do it, and we definitely pretty soon are going to start promoting a new webinar of 8 sessions over 4 weeks, twice a week, live sessions for 2.5 hours for people to start and work on the eyes. So those 4 weeks, if you really want to work with me, you have to have time off of work. Decide that at least the day that the webinar happens, you are off of work, and maybe the day after. And that you devote 4 days a week, if you can, to work on your eyes. We do it for a month, and I'm willing to bet that most of you will improve your vision. As I'm seeing it happening in my 6-day eye class. The last 6-day eye class, I had 31 people, but they didn't come for all the class. The last day there were 19, but 2 had to leave. Well, 17 measured their vision, 16 out of them improved their vision. They measure in the beginning of the workshop and at the end of the workshop. So it's so important for me to let you know that vision can improve. I'm very proud of my student and trainer in my work, Tatiana Gabriel, that was able to get 4,000 people to do eye exercises, and majority of them have improved. I even met some of them in Portugal. I'm very proud of the students that I've trained. Sonia Carosini from São Paulo State, Laura Canto from São Paulo State, Fernanda Leite from São Paulo City itself, and also Paula, and many others here. In this place we have wonderful practitioners, as I mentioned, Will, who is a very nice and fit young man who helps many, many people. His father almost got blind from the same disease he has called retinitis pigmentosa, and he is saved from this. And Vic Gagliardi, who is a wonderful personal trainer and at the same time is a wonderful practitioner of self-healing. So I have many, many students to be proud of, but the main thing is I want this work to be given to the world. And now, not later, now. So we will do something very serious. Those of you who want to work on your joints, on your backs, and on your eyes, to get your back better, to get your eyes better, we're going to set a time that we have not decided yet, that will spend a month to do this webinar. It's going to be a live one. We will allow questions to come so we could answer you. You know, this year I had a very successful course, as I said, for 6 days this February. I'll have another one in Portugal that I expect to be successful because it was wonderful last year with legally blind people. I'll have one in Germany that was huge and successful last year. Let's hope the same happens this year. But there's so many people who cannot necessarily come to my workshops that still want to work on themselves. But if you want to work on yourself, you got to give it the time and the energy that it takes. It's not going to come on its own. And maybe, if many of you will join me to my webinars, I won't need to leave home that much. I'll be able to help Deborah more because I'm helping her each time I meet her. She was not able, after a big regression and a coma that she had, she wasn't able to transfer from the wheelchair to a table. Now she can get up and go to the table, and she can make some steps, and she works nicely in the pool. Well, it is time for us to start and give the world the message. Everywhere you are, whether you're in England or in China, whether you are anywhere in the United States, please start and tell us which is the best month for you for a webinar. Start to inform your friends of our existence, and remember the huge prizes that we're going to give. Again, we're going to give this kit for natural vision improvement. Anyone who uses computer could use it very well. It has also pictures. The kit for natural vision improvement has also pictures and has wonderful CDs to work with. We're going to give you yoga for your eyes. We're going to give you vision for life. We're going to give you vision for life. So we'll be glad to draw some people from a big number of people who will contact us, and I hope you're one of them. And even if you were not drawn, those products are wonderful for you to work with, and they're inexpensive. Talk to you next week. See the video that comes after this one. Meir.
My name is Deborah, and I have muscular dystrophy. And yeah, it's unfortunate, and I have deteriorated, but I because I know Meir Schneider, I have help, and I have hope. He uses massage and exercise combined they work together to help my body, and I noticed that after being massaged I move better and my muscles are looser.
And you like the pool exercise, right?
Yeah, I forgot. I also do pool exercises which are like magic. I think I'm happiest in my life when I'm in water. And
because you can move.
Yeah, because I can move, and because I'm a cancer. Never mind. Because I can move in water, the buoyancy, and I love water, and I can do things I can't do on land.
And this is warm water, which is pleasant to be.
Yeah, it's a nice warm pool, and it's really fun. And I try to go there every week. I would go more often if I lived here, lived closer. But unfortunately, I live 45 minutes. No, I don't have one.
You come all the way from Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I come all the way from Santa Cruz County.
Once a week to work with me.
Yeah, as long as you're in town.
It's lovely to work with you.
That's how important Meir is to me. I come all that way every week, unless he's out of the country or something. Because he has to carry his message, He's got a message to take all over the world, so he does. I'd rather you were here, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I said to him a few minutes ago, we were outside, I said, I don't know what I'd do without you. And that kind of sums it up.
Thank you very much.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Thank you, Deborah. It's wonderful. Thanks.